Today's talk is talking about why carbs are not the enemy. You know, I've had so many people come up to me just in the gym, and you know, as you would not have a clue if you don't research this stuff, you know, you think carbs are bad for you. This is because you're fed all this stuff by the fitness industry, by all these magazines and all these companies who try and promote their stuff, where it's like low carb diet, go keto, because they say that to make you buy that stuff. But if we break it down a little bit, just to help you understand, if you want to lose unwanted body fat, it's important to know that protein, 1 gram is 4 calories. Carbohydrates, 1 gram is 4 calories. Fat, 1 gram is 9 calories. So if we take our principle of our calorie deficit, where you have to be in a calorie deficit to lose fat, our principle of energy balance, being in a negative energy balance, being in a calorie deficit, losing fat. Being in a positive balance, calorie surplus, gaining fat, gaining weight. So, within your calorie margins, say you're eating 2,000 calories on average, what do you think you can fit more in if fats is 9 calories to the gram or carbohydrates is 1? You see, you can eat all these fatty foods, and as nice as some of them are, your olive oils, your nuts, avocados, all this stuff is delicious, but it's very high calorie dense in calories for what it is. Like a tiny little bit of nuts, a handful of nuts would be hundreds and hundreds of calories. Whereas where people get stuck on thinking carbs is bad for them is it's just overindulgence. It's the fact that eating a bowl of pasta, you think eating a bowl of pasta is 100 grams, 150. Oh, that's not really much. But instead, it's piling it all on and then whacking some olive oil in there, maybe a bit of cheese, a bit of pesto. That's when it starts to become like in the 700 to 800 calorie mark. And that's where people go wrong. So before you think carbs are bad for you, next time remember that, you know, firstly to be in your energy balance, your negative energy balance to lose fat, you need to be in that deficit. And if your carbohydrates are 4 calories to 1 gram, like your protein, then you can think of that as, oh, actually, I can fit in a bit more of carbohydrates and protein and lower my fat intake. Instead of being so concentrated on being, oh, low carb diet, that's what I've been told, eating more fat. Well, actually, you won't be able to eat as much because more of your fat is being taken up by high calorie dense foods. So you can't actually eat as much. And I don't know about you, ladies and gents, but to me, that doesn't sound fun. And people think, oh, carbs are bad, they help unwanted fat gain, blah, blah. The only thing that puts on fat is just overindulgence, overeating, being that surplus, not carbs itself. So next time you do think about, oh, I shouldn't have those carbs, maybe just think, okay, they're actually less calories to the gram than there are on fat. It's just about me reeling it back in and actually being like, okay, I don't need to overindulge in this. That's basically what it is. So I don't want you to ever be concerned about that at all. Don't ever be conned into the fitness industry telling you that carbs are bad for you, because the way they're coming at it is binge eating rubbish foods like your sweets, your chocolate. They have carbs in them, they're very carby, they're just plain sugar. But even if you're on a calorie deficit eating those foods, you're still going to lose fat, you're not going to put on weight. It's just the overindulgence in those foods because they're so moreish, because you can't just have one digestive, you can't just have one chocolate finger, you have to pretty much have the whole bloody packet or thing, whatever it is. We're all guilty of that at times. So next time you're on a shop, ladies and gents, do not think carbs are bad for you, because they are not. They are less to the gram, or less calories per gram than fats. So you can actually fit more carbs in with your protein instead of fat. One way around this, ladies and gents, if you're thinking, oh, carbs doesn't fill me up, blah, 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 then eat beans and pulses. Absolute classic. Foods high in fibre, because they'll help you feel fuller for longer. If you eat foods that help you feel fuller for longer, you'll won't get huge cravings during the day, so you won't always be hungry so-and-so like I can be. You can manage your appetite a lot better because you're not always looking for your next snack. You're not looking for your next, oh, nip into that shop, get a bit of chocolate. That's where the problems start to lie, and when you're trying to lose that unwanted body fat. So don't think carbs are purely bad. They're not. don't think you have to follow a high-fat diet. If you're following a high-fat diet and reducing your carb intake and you're still in that calorie deficit, you're going to lose body fat. If you're on a high-fat diet and you decide to eat more carbs and neglect your protein, then if you're still in a calorie deficit, you will still lose fat. But when we start to reduce our protein intake a lot more, we then start to kind of lose a little bit of muscle mass, which is what we do not want, especially when we're trying to lose body fat, preserve as much muscle mass as we can, or if we're trying to build a physique. You know, protein is always kind of the main macronutrient we want to be focusing on when we're trying to build a certain physique. Everyone's so obsessed with protein, but it does serve its purpose to a certain extent. And then just focus on being in that calorie deficit and not worrying about carbs being bad for you, because they are not. Enjoy your carbs. Love carbs. Have a good relationship with carbs. Do not think carbs are bad. Remember, ladies and gents, 1 gram of carbs to 4 calories, 1 gram of fat to 9 calories. Just remember that next time you think carbs are bad for you.